Now we're going to move on to the European keynote speech hosted by our gold sponsor, Optel. Let me introduce you to Christian Jones. He's an account director at Optel Group, and he looks after battery mine material for Europe. Thanks for joining us, Christian. Good to see you.
Hi, Clara. Yeah, good to see you too. And thanks for the invitation to present today. And hello everyone in the audience as well. So I think most people will be aware that the European battery regulation was passed in June. It was enacted in August. And one of the key requirements of the EU battery regulation is the introduction of the battery passport, which will come into play in February 2027. Now, the quality of the data in the passport relies heavily on the quality of the data that's provided by suppliers and as well from other sources. So this is the topic really of my talk today. So just a bit of background really on Optel. So we are headquartered in Quebec in Canada. We've been in business for over 30 years. What we did back then was very niche, and we saw increasing demand in Europe. So we opened up our first European office in 2014. We then expanded into Asia. So in Goa in India, we launched an office in 2016, and then further expansion into South America in Sao Paulo in 2017. And then as part of the continued expansion into Europe, we launched another office in Munich in 2021. So you can see that we're over 700 employees now worldwide. We've got about 200 developers that are part of the sort of global number of people that work for us. 6,000 systems installed worldwide. We've got about 3,000 connectors into third-party systems, and we're tracking about 25 billion products per year. So in terms of traceability, we are one of the larger players in the market. So just to give you a snapshot of some of our customers. So we work across different industries. The pharma industry is one. Another one is food and beverage. So you can see some of the types of customers that we work with. Coca-Cola, we work across a number of different regions, and we work on different projects with those all of the time. We work with Verkor, Glencore, Alcoa, Alouette, and all of the sort of learnings have been based on the experience over the last 30 years in terms of evolving our platform, evolving the data capture mechanisms. And, we're now starting to work with OEMs, battery manufacturers, material suppliers, mining companies and energy suppliers, across the globe as well. So some of our partners include the Global Battery Alliance. We've been a member for some time now. We've recently submitted a pilot project as part of the second wave of pilots, so we hope to be included within that. We are members of Catena X, so our German team are tasked with how we're going to connect into the Catena X network in order to be able to share and consume data. We're also heavily involved with Exceed, which was driven by Renault and IBM, which is really a solution really for holding data about vehicle parts. So we provide technologies as part of that initiative. And then we also work with CIRAC, which is the International Reference Centre for Life Cycle Assessment. So all of our life cycle assessments are approved by CIRAC, whether they're corporate or product based. And then we are also now PACT compliant, so the Partnership for Carbon Transparency, which is a foundation for the standardized emissions data exchange. And then we also work with a number of different partners, and maybe just one more to talk about really is Surpass. So Surpass, I think, like the Global Battery Alliance and other initiatives, really are looking at the frameworks, the standards and the formats for digital product passports, so not just the battery passport, but other passports as well. And the recommendations will be sent to the European Commission into how those are implemented. So just briefly, this is the roadmap for the EU battery regulation going forward. There are requirements on the battery itself, but also on different materials. You can see really that these include things like carbon footprint, supply chain due diligence, waste collection targets, recycled content, and other types of data that needs to be captured, and this will feed into the battery passport. So Optel's solution is called OpChain, and it's a supply chain control tower for performance, sustainability, and compliance. Now, our approach really is to build technologies to spec, so we can really deliver what our customers, against their exact requirements. So we can customize, we can personalize in terms of the dashboards, reporting, and analytics. We can give them different insights, different views. We can align the technology to their internal business processes. We also often receive requests to build bespoke technologies. So it's really about putting our customers first, and it's their platform, it's their data, really to sort of help them maximize the benefits of our technology. So how does it work? So we digitize the supply chain for a battery, and then we onboard suppliers as part of those supply chains. And part of that really is defining the data capture mechanisms for each supplier. And as we're working through and building those networks, once we've digitized the supply chain, and for some materials that's back to source, we can then enable traceability for specific materials. So as an example, if we use cobalt, cobalt is a large proportion of cobalt is mined in the DRC. So from mine, we are tracing the material as it moves from supplier to supplier, and we're then pulling in data from those suppliers. So this includes traceability data, so lot numbers, volumes, date and timestamps. We map out the energy sources, the energy mixes, and track the energy usage. So we're able to calculate the carbon emissions and apply that to the outbound product. We then conduct supply chain due diligence, particularly in areas of ESG on suppliers. And this really gives our customers insight in terms of the origins of raw materials, how, where, and by who they were processed. Supply chain due diligence, capturing of scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 emissions. And then we can also track recycled content by connecting recyclers into the platform. And of course, then this information is pushed into the battery passport and other types of dashboards, reporting, and analytics. So another key strength of Optel's is the range of data capture mechanisms that we provide. So some of these are kind of manual kind of submissions through forms and through different tool sets. So whether they be on smartphones, tablets, or computers, we then offer semi-automated ways in terms of being able to export data out of systems and then upload it into OpChain. But then also fully automated ways. So we integrate with different back office systems, and data can be pushed directly on a scheduled basis. And this also includes things like capturing, submitting data through IoT devices and RFID. And then another aspect of what we do is we build hardware that sits on production lines. It serializes products. We generate QR codes. These can be printed onto packaging or engraved on products. And again, this all links into OpChain, and it connects the raw material with different products. And then we also have vision systems which inspect different products as well for things like fraud. And all of this really kind of feeds into, it's transformed in OpChain, and then and then the output is into things like the product passport, different types of reports. So at the moment, we're often asked for to provide data into things like CSRD disclosures, or CBAM, and other types of reports that are provided either locally or regionally. Well, I think you've missed a slide. So Optel works with a partner called Bureau Veritas, and Bureau Veritas are a world leader in testing, inspection, and certification. So there's around 85,000 employees worldwide. They operate in most regions and in many countries. So Bureau Veritas verify the data that's captured by Optel, and also carries out data capture activities on our behalf as well. So the way that they do that is through two different channels. So they send out self-assessment questionnaires. They then capture the responses. They then also use their internal processes to then verify the data that's provided, and this includes capturing evidence. The second channel as well is that they conduct on-site audits, and often the self-assessments really drive the on-site audit activity. So these are the types of pillars that the Bureau Veritas capture, and the metrics that they capture on our behalf. And suppliers are scored against the performance criteria that Bureau Veritas use. And what this really means is that they're able to verify all of this data that's captured. So our customers are able to stand by all of the data that's captured, and obviously as a result of that, the risk, of course, will come down. So I hope you've enjoyed my sort of short presentation, and please let me know if you've got any questions.
Amazing. Thanks a million, Christian. That was incredibly informative. And see you a little later in panel 4.
Okay, thanks, Clara.
Amazing.